Hey everybody, welcome back to Still Can't Cook. I'm your host, Kelley Fahey. Thank you so much for coming. I'm super excited about this show because last week I talked about social media, and I want to get into this. Does social media keep us forever 25? That's the question. I think for me, it's definitely kept me young. When you're working, right? When you have a job and you're out and you're walking around and you see people on their way to work or in work. I had a great job where I was around people from everywhere. So I got to keep up with trends, especially fashion trends, in the moment while I was working. Now that I work from home, I don't have the luxury of seeing all these people walking around a lobby, which I did when I was, again, working at the hotel. But the thing I think for me that keeps me young on social media is the fashion. It keeps you in touch with what's happening around the world if you're not someone who's on the pulse of it. And if you have a job where you're social and you get to do that, then that's fantastic. And then you could probably go home and still search someone that you see in public. But I'm following them now on Instagram and on TikTok. And I think it does keep you, I don't know if it keeps you 25 or it just keeps what's relevant right now. It keeps you conscious of what's relevant. You know, I'm getting my news from social media. I tend not to put TV on, and so I'm learning a lot. And a lot of the kids that I watch, these young kids are just, giving information like right as it's happening are young. And so I relate to it. I don't relate to Dan Rather. I mean, you guys probably don't know who that is, but I think he's still a news reporter. That's how long it's been since I watched the news. But I don't really want to watch a news program that's just all dread and terrible. And you get on Instagram or TikTok and you can get your news and then you can see puppy videos. So it's a balance of like, the world is coming to an end. And oh, by the way, this puppy knows how to stand on his back legs and walk across the floor in a tutu. But yeah, so I think that the internet is going to keep us all young. And I'm wondering, I do think it's probably a cute thing to think about older men and women, like elderly men and women kind of keeping up with us via the internet. Well, I'm keeping up with the younger generation. It's kind of interesting. I'll be forever 25 and they could be forever 54. It's a sweet little thought. So speaking of all the pressure to stay young, we women, and I'm sure men do too, want to be sexy. And what does that mean every decade? How do you get your sexy? What do you do? What do you tap into to feel sexy? For me, it's changed throughout the years. Right now, I tell you, at 54, what I feel very sexy about and what makes me feel sexy is confidence in my word. I'm at an age where if I don't know what topic you're talking about, I have zero fear in telling you that I don't know what you're talking about. And I've done that for a long time. I'm more comfortable now. I've tried to keep up with conversations when I was younger. Now, fucking idea what you're talking about. I sat in business meetings. This is fact. I used to sit in business meetings, P&L meetings. And by the way, by like my fourth P&L, I found out what it was profit and loss. I didn't even know it was profit and loss. I didn't know what P&L stood for. So imagine that I sat at the desk like, they're going to find out if I talk. I don't know anything I'm talking about. I don't do that anymore, but I would be so scared in meetings. I know who I am. I think knowing who I am and the confidence of who I am, that feels sexy now. I don't know if I told it right. I just killed my sexy right here on camera because I should be like, that makes me feel sexy. So in my 50s, I think sexy is confidence in knowing what I know. Also having a line that I don't cross, again, too old for the bullshit. It's confidence in my word and what I know and what I don't know and being okay with the fact that I don't know everything. In my 40s, I think I was trying to fake it a lot. And part of what I think my sexy was, in my 40s, I think I had an air of confidence about me that was kind of put on because I wasn't confident at all. I'm way more confident now than I ever was in my 40s or my 30s. And I go back and look at pictures, which I'm sure we all do, and I'm like, shit, you were cute. I remember not ever thinking I was cute, which is bananas. Your parents probably tell you, or friends or whoever, will say, you look great now. We all judge ourselves, I think. And I go back and I look at these pictures in my 20s and my 30s, and I'm like, I was so insecure. And God, I was adorable. I mean, I was never a runway model, but God, that was not my role in life. I was just cute enough, and I didn't realize it. In my 50s, it's confidence and being comfortable in what I know and what I don't know and having some boundaries. And I think it's sexy. I think a man likes a woman with some boundaries. I was out recently and met a man who I am going to be going on a date with, shockingly, but we did meet at a bar. And he said at one point, I was very kind to him, but I wasn't thinking anything was happening. And I turned my back, but I was comfortable enough to say, I'm going to turn my back on you now. I know it's rude, and I'm not trying to be in my 20s. And I'm like, let me act like I don't want to talk to him. But I was like, I'm going to turn my back now. But I don't mean to be rude, and I'm not trying to blow you off, but I'm actually going to eat with my friends now. And he was like, that was really cool, because I was going to continue talking if you hadn't told me not to. So that's the kind of confidence I'm talking about. In my 20s, I would have either blown him off because I wasn't interested, because I didn't realize how cool he was, or overdone it. I feel like I'm very confident now. So 50s, that. 40s, I think I was, I think I might have been kind of making up for all the stuff I think I wasn't in my 30s. I don't know. My 40s were a gray area. I'm not quite sure. I had a relationship through my 40s that made me feel very sexy, because I was traveling and I felt worldly, and I was wearing linen. Linen makes you feel sexy. I don't know about you guys, but linen makes me feel sexy. So lots of linen, braless. I was braless. I was on a lot of islands. I had a friend tell me that the on again, off again bought my sexy, and then I kept it, which was a funny line. And then in my 30s, I don't know. 30s, I think, was all about figuring things out. I was all over the place in my 30s. I was jumping around in the same place that I worked, but I moved careers around in my 30s. Like I went from food and beverage to the sales department, or around it, maybe into management. I jumped around a little bit in my 30s. Maybe 30s was like trying things out. I was in a couple of relationships. But you know what has always been my staple? Always, through my entire life, since probably when I realized, I think I found out I think you feel sexy in your 20s, right? I might have been a late bloomer. I wasn't a sexy teen, not like today's kids. But I think in my 20s I felt sexy. I never feel hotter than if I'm in a pair of jeans. Blue jeans and a t-shirt for me, even now. In my 50s, on a date, I don't do the dresses. I don't do it. I feel very sexy in the right t-shirt and a pair of jeans. I feel sexy in that. I feel pretty sometimes in dresses and stuff, but I'm definitely my most confident and my sexiest through all of my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Oh, man, I was going to say 60s soon. This is crazy. But I will stop right now. 50s. It's always been blue jeans and a white t-shirt, which is apparently my uniform. Those who know me will stand by that. So yeah, I want, like, what do you guys think? What make you feel sexy? Did you have a sexiest time? I look back now and I think my sexiest time was 42. 42 years old was my sexiest. The prettiest I think I looked, my body was in the best shape, and I think I was just teetering on the confidence that you pull into your 50s. So I think 42 was my best year. I'll probably look back, and hopefully this year will be my best year, because I'm doing all the stuff that I need to do to look younger. So I think maybe the facelift will help me maybe look back on my 54th year and think that was the sexiest. So in reality, of course it's not about trying to feel younger or 25 that makes you feel sexy. What's sexy is your vibe, your spirit being alive, happiness, gratitude, walking in the room, feeling confident. Happiness, I think, is sexy, right? Really walking in and feeling good, which is bringing me to, I feel 99% of the time, I feel great. I really do. I'm happy with all of my life, my friends, my family, my health, knock on wood. But there is this thing, and I've been talking about it for years. I want a facelift, and I've wanted a facelift for a very long time. And I really believe that you should feel how you look. And I don't feel like my face matches my soul. I don't feel like it makes sense. I feel, and I don't think I'm not opposed to myself. I don't look in the mirror and dislike what I see looking back at me. I'm not self-loathing. I don't have any, and this is real. People do have body dysmorphia. I do not have that. I'm realistic on the fact that I need a little tweak to make myself feel good. And that tweak is going to be happening in a few weeks. I'm going to have a full facelift. I'm going to have the eyes, a deep plane facelift. I'm a little nervous as we're getting closer, naturally, right? Because it's surgery. But I'm also so excited. I mean, check out social media. You guys are seeing it. These facelifts that are happening, the Kris Jenners of the world, and there's another woman that went to Colombia and had her face, and she looks like her own daughter coming home. And Kris Jenner looks incredible. I don't have $700,000 to spend on a facelift. If you have it, spend it. Good for you. I don't think I need to. My doctor is incredible, and I'm super excited about it. But I'm looking at these people now, and I'm thinking, am I gonna I had friends text me and send me one of the facelifts that are getting going viral on the internet, and was like, oh my God, I'm afraid that you're gonna come back and not look anything like yourself. And to set the record straight, if you just have a full-on facelift, you can look like yourself a younger version, the Kris Jenners, right? She looks like her. Then there are people who go and have additional add-ons while they're doing it, which is one of the women that they sent me. She had her chin implanted and had her nose done while she was having a facelift. So of course, I'm just going to have a tighter face, right? That's all that's going to happen is things are going to be tighter and pulled up a bit. Knock on wood, everything goes well. That's the end result. But there are people who can go under and come out with, a chin implant or a nose job or things added on. That I'm not doing. I don't believe Kris Jenner did that either. The other woman who went viral from I think it was Colombia, she just looks like a completely different person. So I'm excited. I don't want to look like a different person. I just want to look like me, the same me I see in my head, I want to see in the mirror. And she's 54. I'm not ashamed of aging at all. I'm blessed to be here. And I don't mind a few wrinkles, but I think mine is kind of, and again, I've maintained. So I know that when the collagen string lifts do completely dissipate, it's going to be a bit different. I still have filler left over. It's been a while, but I still have it. And I'm just like, do whatever makes you happy. I am not pushing plastic surgery on anyone. People have come to me and asked me who I'm seeing and if they can get his number. And Dr. Burlett is incredible. And I'll show you as we go when we do this facelift, like I'm going to keep you guys involved in it. And I know I'll probably look back and be like, I was not, get me on some Percocets and put the camera on. But I just think it's important that we talk about it because this is a choice that I'm making. And I'm not saying anyone else has to go that route. If you look in the mirror and you are happy, God bless. I am 98%, and I'm able to fix that 2%. So I think that's a really big deal. And I work on it, I work on my body, I work on Pilates, I work on my diet, I do the things to make myself feel good. I pick the clothes I wear to think that they look good on me. Maybe I'm wrong sometimes, but like if I put all this thought into how I feel, and some people might think that it's vain or vanity, and I don't mind that. Like I've had it said as if it was a problem. Like when we're going out, most of us care. Is that vanity? And what level is it okay and it not okay? Why am I not allowed or being judged by some people by getting a facelift, but I can put on lipstick and fake eyelashes or get my hair colored done? Like where's the line? And why is there a line? I understand it's a bit more, you're taking a bigger risk because I'm going under anesthesia, and I guess it's elective surgery where there are people, and I don't take for granted that I'm not someone who's had to. I've had surgery. I had to have my appendix out. That was awful. So I'm not taking surgery as a light thing at all. I know I'm taking a chance, but I'm taking a chance knowing that I am, looking into all the options, what really does work for me, and what am I going to be the happiest with, and this is a choice I'm making. I don't think everyone should make that choice, and I'm not mad at anybody who doesn't, and I just don't want anybody mad at me for doing that. So I'll keep you guys all posted as we go, and you can watch it with me. But it's funny how there's this, I don't know if it's a health risk thing that's the problem, but like what is it really that gets people to not want me to do it? And like family members, I understand there's a fear, but I wonder, just in conversations lately out with other people and with friends and meeting people are like, what? You're going to do what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I gave it a lot of thought. It's not like if I was in my 20s and I was doing it, I could understand people. I know it's going to be a glow up. I'm putting the time and energy in, and it's going to be, I'm going to be feeling myself, and I know I'm going to be feeling myself. I'm feeling myself, and I haven't even got it yet. I'm like buying clothes for the new face, and that's exciting. And the new face wears a lot less clothes because the new face will match the abs, and so that's going to make me very happy. So I'm going to do naked podcasting is what I'm going to do. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't put you guys through that. I think that it's going to be really exciting, and I'm excited about like low necks, because this is the turkey neck thing has been happening for a long time, and it's changed the way I dress. I'm excited about the glow up, and I think at any age you guys can figure out what is going to be your little thing. I think, I forgot, in my 20s I cut my hair off. In my 20s I had short straight hair. I had short straight blonde hair once. I'm on Law and Order and with the short blonde hair. True story. And I played a nurse in an abortion clinic, and the name of the actual episode is Competence. Anyway, won a Grammy. Emmy, won an Emmy. I didn't, but the show actually did for that episode. Anyway, I had blonde hair in it. So that was my glow up in my 20s. But I guess I was going back to that. I was saying I feel like sexy and the glow up. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing? You're sexy, is the sexy the new glow up? Or, oh no, it's not. Sexy is there, glow up is like new. It's like you're coming out thing. Like you're coming of, what's a glow up? How do I define a glow up?
Your reinvention.
Reinvention. Okay, see, I was trying to think it's sexy. Okay, so a glow up is the new term of reinventing yourself. Yeah, you got to keep reinventing yourself. I always have glow ups then. I'm constantly glowing up. Look at me, always reinventing. I think we always are reinventing, right? You reinvent yourself, you reinvent your relationships, you reinvent your career, I think changing around your apartment is a reinvention of yourself because when you're home, it matters. When you shift things, the energy in your home moves. I think I'm always reinventing. I think we all should be doing that. So yes, I'm excited about my glow up facelift. And I'm seeing all these other people. Again, I talked about Kris Jenner, man, good for you. You got all the money in the world. Do it. Live your life. Why not? Who cares what other people are talking about? Anyone who's judging, like, just don't do it. Stop with the judgment. It's so last year. So not part of my glow up year, man. So just don't rain on my glow up because I'm about to blow it up. I think reinvention is like the ultimate power move as you get older. I think that you have to stay on top of your own life, it's not about looks. It's about your finances. It's about your friendships. It's about the things that you spend your time thinking about and don't, and learning to stop the thought process when it's an unhealthy thought process. Stop the voices that are telling you what you are and what you're not. As you get older in your 50s, I think we are very conscious of that voice. And if you're listening, I think we all have that voice that either says you're good enough, you're not good enough, you can, you can't, zip it. You are, you can. If you're breathing, try it. You constantly should be reinventing, changing just even the TV shows you watch, man. If it's something simple, like read a different newspaper, watch a different show, but constantly figure out ways of, try new foods, take new vacations, go new places, try a new sport. Sitting in the same old, it's gonna age us. It's gonna age us. You got to keep moving. You got to constantly change. Reinvention as you get older, I think, is super important. From your 50s, your 60s. I think when you're 20s and 30s, you're still figuring out who you are. So sitting comfortably, you can do that for longer, but not now. It's just keep moving, change it up, talk to new people, go to new restaurants, order a new drink if you drink. If you don't. But, try a new soda. I do know people who are my age who don't understand the internet and TikTok and stuff. And I no hard feelings, but I'm like, you should check this out. This is fun. If I got something keeping me down, get on TikTok and watch some of that stuff. Watch the girls who are scaring their husbands, or I don't know. I just recently saw a girl had it was always men that they're scaring, right? I don't know why we do this, but there's like a stuffed animal on the floor and the husband's on the couch and the animal's on a string, and so they think there's a ghost in it. I die. I crack up. And they pull all the guys freak out, or like yelling at something in the back seat. You guys know the TikToks I'm talking about. But how are you going to be in a bad mood? How are you going to be in a bad mood when you watch your puppy fall asleep upside down with the tongue out? I love TikTok. Now you could go strolling. You could go scrolling and find some crappy stuff. Don't do that. It's all there at our fingertips, and that's the dark side of the web, is that you can search the stuff that's dark, and I don't do that. But do the puppy stuff and do the scare your husband shit, because that's funny. It does change your mood, and if you don't know how to do it, I think you're missing out. That's a good reinvention. Figure out how to get on these things and these streaming platforms, and even YouTube is super fun if you put in the right stuff, if you want to change your mood. I think it's really crazy how much of this is out there for us. So if you don't know the internet and how to play around with these things, that's another reinvention. Just figure it out. Ask your kids. God, they know everything. These kids know everything. I'm a newbie and I'm learning, and I'm always interested to find new things out. So I just recently found out by watching a TikTok thing that if you put your finger on the out right-hand side of the top of your phone, you can speed up a video. I didn't know that. I learned that the other day at Clock. I learned that on TikTok. So there's a reinvention. I do videos now. Don't do that while you're watching this. Do real time. Reinvention is super important, and we should keep it going. Keep it like every day. Figure out something new to do. That when you do all this self-help stuff, they say that. Figure out one thing new to do every single day. I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch, but you can try it. I've tried it. I can't do it. I've fallen off that. But I think that if you continuously find new things to do in life and new ways of doing them, I think it will keep you young. At least I think it works for me that way. Even doing this was a whole stretch, and I'm super excited about it, and it gets me, I got to get up, I got to take a shower, I got to do the stuff, I got to do all the stuff to stay young, which is why I'm doing the facelift. Bam. You're going to be excited about the facelift, I think. I think it's going to be scary to see it because we're doing the eyes too. So the eyes, full face, neck, and one thing I just found out, another thing I learned, is that this continues to grow as you age. This and your ears, your earlobes and this. And there's probably other stuff, so I'm not a doctor, but I just know for the facelift that one of the things that he's going to do is going to cut my nose and lift my lip up. It's going to be a whole new world for me. New lip and all. Tight neck. It's going to be very exciting. I'm super excited. So my glow up is about to happen, and you guys are going to ride that wave with me. Yeah. Be nice. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to take pictures and do the whole thing, and we can go through it as it happens. So yeah, that's really exciting. And I think that constantly reinventing is super important because I think you could just get really bored, and if you get bored, you get old. That's my vibe on life. That's my 2 cents. Clearly, there's been a lot of reinventions of Kelley, clearly, because if we go back, if you haven't, maybe go back, watch some of my old podcasts. I talk about my life and growing up in Brooklyn and coming from where I came from, a small town called Garrison Beach, where everyone knew everybody and there was no anonymity and you had no secrets, and growing up in a very small space with 6 of us, my 3 siblings, my 2 parents, and myself, to get where I am, to get here comfortably in this space. I've had to reinvent myself over and over again. I was a young, insecure little kid with a lisp, speech impediment, who was afraid of everything, every sound, every noise, everything. I didn't walk up the block. I dove into fences. I don't know where my fear started. Still haven't figured that out, but I was afraid forever. Then moved into the city, started working for my brother, opened up my life a bit, found all these amazing friends, thank God, people who are still in my life now, opened my world up to where I wasn't afraid to walk from the club to the car to the taxi back in the day, to go back to Brooklyn, and opened up my world and shifted my what I wanted. I saw a bigger life. I was like, I want to be that. I want to live in the city. I want to work. My brother had bars and restaurants, and I wanted more. I was like, I don't want to just work for family. And I transitioned from working for family. And anyone who's done this, you understand, leaving a family establishment to go to somewhere else where I was nobody. They had established servers at the Soho Grand. These girls were killing it. I literally knew nothing at all about carrying a tray. I was a bartender, and again, a family bartender. And I changed, and I left the comfort of working for my brother, and I went to the Soho Grand, and I started from the bottom. I had to ask to go to the bathroom, and I worked people's section and gave them all my money at the end of the night. It was crazy, but I wanted to be a little bit more than what I was, and so I took the chance. And then it's Soho Grand, and I stayed there for 25 years, but I went up the ladder. I went from food and beverage to sales. That was a transitioning from the bar to the sales department. And scared every single time because I'm someone who's so afraid of change. But I do it, right? For some reason, there's something, I'm scared of it, but I'm like, until I go through it, I got to get on the other side of it. And it's been like that. As much as so many things in my life have remained the same, because I'm blessed to have the family that I have and the core group of the corner of my friends that I have, but the day-to-days have changed so much. The decisions I make, how I handle things, I got into therapy. I started therapy in my early 20s, and again changed in my 30s and changed my therapist and found new things. I did EMDR, I did all this. I was always searching for things. And then I had a relationship that broke up. I was engaged, and that ended. And then I thought, what is next? Like what? And then it opened the world up to this incredible world of comedians. I have these great friends that are comics. I dated a comic for a minute that opened that world up. And then it was, that whole new world and learning how to fit in a whole space of people who were just coming up. The fun thing for me in that point, though, is that we were all kind of coming up. They exceeded expectations. A lot of my friends have become really well-known comics, and in other facets. All my friends have been super successful. God bless all of you in different spaces. But yeah, kind of, I've always put myself in a position where I had to kind of figure out what my next move was going to be in a new room. And I don't mean the room, I mean that as a, wow, I'm forgetting the word, as a metaphor. A room is a metaphor, not is exactly in a room. Metaphor for changing. Anyway, I think reinvention can be a choice. I think sometimes it's forced. I think I've had both options. I think that when you have a decision between two careers or two places to work, I think that's something that you make the decision on. I think when you have a relationship end that you weren't in control of, or a loss or a death, those are some transitions that you have to adjust to, and I don't think necessarily would be something you would choose. At the end of, I will speak for myself, at the end of the greatest losses and the biggest changes in my life, I've become a better me because of it. I wish it didn't have to happen. So is life. This is the way it's supposed to go. I know you lose your parents. This is how it's supposed to happen. And I got at the end of that, and I know that they would have been prouder of me at the end of it. I know my parents absolutely looked at me and said, wow, she did that better than we thought she was going to do it. And struggling through the loss of it. So I think changing a career is your choice. And that is something that I think happens to a lot of people, and it does reinvent yourself career-wise. Anyone who's done it, left a comfy job for something new, it's scary. It's scary. And I think the same, with the death and breakups and loss of any way. I think sometimes reinvention is a choice and sometimes it's forced. But I think at the end of any of it, you should better yourself on the way through it if you can. I think letting go of what I was before and reinventing myself through any of the changes, I think I kept the person I've always been and just added a growth on top of it. I don't think the little kid, Kelley Ann, sitting on the front stoop at 30-hour court is any less there than she was when I was the little kid sitting on. I think everything about me has just been laid on top of her. I don't think the change of, I think I'm still a pigtails. I feel it. I'm still a little girl with crooked pigtails, waiting for my parents to come home, nervous about a lot of stuff, and just barreling. And then I learned, they come home, things get better. That's just that shadow in the corner is not a ghost, Kelley. You're okay. You don't have to hop out the window. Come back, little 8-year-old Kelley. I'll hug you. I was afraid of everything. But she's still there. I'm scared. When I first moved in this apartment, I wanted to put locks on every single thing. I'm on the 30th floor. I was like, gotta lock the windows. I got double locks and everything. And at the time, my friend who helped me move in was like, are you okay? I was like, I need to just kind of lock and that kind of lock. And then I remember my father always said, locks are made for honest people. So like, if I lock it, they want to get in, they're getting in. No one wants to get in, but I'm scared of everything. So that little 8-year-old is still in there. So I think if you reinvent yourself, unless there are things about you really don't like, of course, change those. But I think at my core, I've always been a kind person. And so she just needed a little bit of a harder shell around her. I think I was the inside of the Milky Way, and now I have that chocolate layer on the outside. I'm the crunchy part too now. So do I think that reinvention gets easier with age, or do you just not care as much as you get older, so reinvention just happens easier because you don't care? Or does it come because I think it's a mix. I think that you get to a point where you're too young to retire, too old for the bullshit, and you have a voice and you don't care. Yes. See, I don't know. It's both. I don't care because I'm old enough not to care. I'm old enough to have conversations that make other people uncomfortable, and I don't care. I've already been you. I've been uncomfortable. Grow out of it. You will grow out of it. It won't matter. And then I've learned so much that I reinvent myself because I've grown past what I was. But I'm more comfortable with it because I'm old enough to not give a shit. So I think it's both. I think reinvention is easier as you get older because you know enough to understand where you need to land, and you're old enough not to care if on your way down you kick someone. They probably deserved it. I don't think reinvention is about chasing youth. I think reinvention is about not being stagnant. I think that for me, as much as I enjoyed the comfort of consistency and being in spaces and places that I'm comfortable in, I think that if I stayed still mentally, not so much, I'm not talking about the facelift, I'm talking about making better choices. Should I call? Don't call, Cal. Am I going to say? No, don't say it. or quite the opposite. You know what I should say? Go ahead, Kellyanne, say it. I'm in a place where it's about the freedom. Age gives you such freedom. I am so thrilled to be able to speak and not care. I mean, not hurting feelings ever. I'm not a mean person, but I'm not gonna bite my tongue in for my truths anymore. And I think that is really important. And you learn as you go. Again, reinventing, back in it. You learn as you go. Things that you can handle, can't handle, things that upset you, things that don't upset you. I think it's ever changing. I think it's really, I can't imagine not sitting still and just, I think I would rot. I would be, stagnant is bad, for me at least. Reinventing in general spills into how you live your day to day, right? Like you go from living at home, transition into living by yourself or with a roommate, transition into having a career, transition. Everyone, reinvent, transition. I think they go hand in hand. Then you get to a specific time and space in your life, or I'm in one now, where you have to really understand your day-to-days and I'm in a constant battle of my level of domestication. We come to an age and a time when we really need to own our space. And that ties into like our day-to-day life. Like right now, my biggest conscious choices are what's domestic and what's not. How domestic am I going to be when I chose not to be, right? Like people align domestication with house, marriage, children, husband, cooking. Does that mean I'm not a domesticated woman because I didn't get married or have children or cook or clean? Oh, geez, Louise. Or shop or I don't know. Am I domesticated? So I have this inner battle with myself about food shopping. Does food shopping make you domesticated? Possibly. I don't food shop. I use Instacart. I pick my own things on Instacart, but I do in fact order the same thing 4 to 5 times a day if the first Instacart, second and third Instacart do not get the thing I like correct. And it happens a lot. No judgment on you, Instacart. Sometimes I pick an apple, you guys bring me bananas. It's fine. It is what it is. But I'm so, I don't know if it's lazy or non-domesticated, that I don't go up the street to Whole Foods, it's on my corner, and buy the thing I want because I feel like I'm not ready to make that transition into that part of Kelley. I'm not a food shopper. I think that's a very specific type of person who goes to a grocery store. First of all, overwhelming. Grocery shopping for me is like going to a drugstore and buying just Q-tips. Can't do it. Can't do it. If I go into a Dwayne Reed to buy Q-tips, I come out with 4 lipsticks I never needed, a cover up, I do everything. I buy all the things and usually a piece of chocolate at the same time. How you can walk into Whole Foods for what you think you're going to get when what I want is a box of Annie's mac and cheese and I'm going to come out with a hummus and a pita breads and all that, and then it rots. It all rots. I don't eat any of this. I just have it sit. I can't grocery shop because I overdo everything. I get overstimulated, and then I think of course I need some Gouda cheese. I need that. I'm going to have that today. Sure, I need a pile of 2 pounds of Parmesan. Why not? Because when I make pasta, oh no, I don't. I make Annie's mac and cheese. It already comes with cheese. Why do I have Parmesan cheese? I don't know, because I went to Whole Foods once. I shouldn't food shop. I think it's a very specific type of person. I see these people with those bags, those drag bags. You know who you are. I don't know what they're called, but the drag bags. People take them, they have wheels, and they go to the stores with them, and they put their groceries in them. And it's a whole different type of person. That's people buy their own flowers. Women buy their own flowers in Whole Foods and other stores, and they come home with their flowers. I will buy my own flowers like I buy my own cheap clothes. From the privacy of my own home, no one's going to know it. I'm going to do it on the internet, and no one's going to know that I bought those flowers. They're going to come to the house. Oh, look, surprise, Kelley got flowers. Walk across the street from Whole Foods with flowers? No, ma'am. Nope. And like twice that I've been there, I buy 5 million things that I don't need. And I'm like, oh, that's the prettiest salt. I already have salt. Why do I need another salt? I don't even cook. Yeah. I need to understand what is domestic about me, I wonder. I make my bed every morning. Someone sent me a meme that said, people who make their beds every single day are more likely to be millionaires. I have made my bed every single day as soon as my feet hit the floor. That I do. That makes me domestic, I guess. Right? What else is domestic? I have a dog. Does that make me domestic? This is all my best friend's fault. I lived with her, And she made me not domestic because she did all the stuff. She acted like she was my wife, and she did all of the cooking and all of the cleaning and all the domestic stuff, and she ruined my life. Deanna, you ruined my life. I could have been cooking and cleaning. I could have had kids now. I'm like, well, thank you, Deanna. First I got mad, and then I got happy again. I'm mad at you because I can't cook. Thank God I don't have kids. But I'm still mad at you because you made me not domesticated. I think it's all Deanna's fault. I could have been very domestic. I would have been a very good knitter if it wasn't for Deanna. I would have crocheted blankets if it wasn't for Deanna. Is that domestic? I would have been the Whole Foods queen. I'd wear a Whole Foods shirt right now if it wasn't for Deanna. Yeah, my best friend did it. I usually blame my family for everything, but I'm going to say this one is definitely Deanna's fault. I just want anyone who's asking now, all my exes, all those men out there say, how come she didn't cook? Deanna. That's why I don't cook. It's all her fault. Though, part of me is going to lean into my non-domestication. Is there a word for that? Undomesticated? Anti-domesticated? Whatever it is. Let's find a word for it, because that's what I am. And I'm okay with it. I don't need to do any of that. But maybe, possibly, I might want to lean in to be a little bit more domesticated because I don't like to be none of something. I want to be a little bit of everything. Look at that. I'm gonna go food shopping, and I'm gonna buy my own flowers. At some point, maybe after my facelift, in a bikini, with a sign on my back that says I'm doing this for the podcast because I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I take it back. I change my mind in front of you guys. I'm not going to do that. I do not like that. I do not like being the girl with the flowers. I will deliver my flowers. I'm not listening to it. Okay, the same person who buys flowers for themselves, who walks home with flowers from themselves, might as well just go to Babes in Toyland, buy themselves a vibrator, and walk around with it out of a bag in their hand, batteries included. Because it's the same chick in my head. I'm not walking home with flowers for myself. I'm not walking home with a vibrator because I'm not letting the world know how single I am. All right, so to round out this episode, just make your own choices. Figure out who you are. Do what works for you. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't even listen to me if you don't agree with me. Listen to me. Just don't agree with me. It's fine. But do what makes you happy. Do the things you're passionate about. Find new things to be passionate about. Because it keeps you young, I swear, I promise. Buy your own flowers if you want to. Walk around with your own vibrator in your pocket if you want to. I don't really care. I just know I'm not gonna. Do whatever makes you happy. But keep watching my podcast, because that'll make you happy. If you have a grocery story that's either funny or horrible, share it. I want to hear it. If you ever have walked around with a vibrator in your hand, I don't know. People do buy them. People still buy them at stores, apparently. Well, this has been a crazy episode of Still Can't Cook. Thank you so much for coming. Please stay tuned for next week. Please subscribe and follow wherever you watch your podcast. Thank you so much for showing up and taking this ride with me. I appreciate it so much. And take your Dramamines, because it's a hell of a ride. Okay, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye. I'll see you next week. I appreciate you, and buy yourself flowers if you need to. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us, and look forward to seeing you next week.